I felt disappointed that he didn't appreciate me, but uh, scared that he said he does not know anymore what to do. And then actually my husband became angrier and angrier. Like I would get the silence treatment that lasted several weeks at a time sometimes. And it was very embarrassing when we met, when we were together with friends, and he does not talk to me. I felt lonely and really embarrassed that our relationship is like this. And I was desperately looking for a solution for that, but nobody really could point me in the right way. And also, actually, my husband is in a leadership position, so I couldn't just talk to anybody for advice.
Welcome to the Empowered Wife podcast, where it's all about fixing your marriage without your man's conscious effort so that you feel desired and taken care of and special, even if your relationship feels hopeless. I'm Laura Doyle, and today we're talking about 3 ways to connect with your feelings. My guest, Theresia's marriage felt lonely whenever she got the silent treatment from her husband, which sometimes lasted for weeks. He seemed to be getting angrier and angrier. And then she discovered some new insights on how to talk to her husband. Now she feels close and playful with him, and he doesn't seem so angry anymore. She's going to tell us how she did it so you can do it too. But first, let's talk about 3 ways to connect with your feelings, because feelings are one of our superpowers as women. I mean, everybody has feelings, but as women, we have emotional brilliance. That's one of the 5 gifts of femininity. And maybe you think your feelings are overwhelming or that you're too emotional or too sensitive, and you'd like to figure out a way to not be so easily hurt. I remember feeling the same way. But I don't know of a way to not feel what I feel. And even if I did, I don't think I would recommend it. I don't think of feeling hurt as an overreaction. It's just my reaction. It can seem like a burden if you've been told that you're too sensitive, but I see sensitivity as a gift. I remember being so overwhelmed with hurt in the past that it seemed like a bottomless pit. I thought, I've got to just sit down and really feel my feelings, because otherwise they are going to drive me. They are going to subconsciously control me, and I'm going to eat emotionally or drink to numb. So my feelings felt like this big chore that was always hanging over me, and I was always avoiding them because I thought they were out of control and that it would be so painful to feel them, and that I would need tons of therapy to ever get past this. I don't know where I got all that judgment for my feelings, but now that I know how to connect to my feelings, there's no big burden or chore to avoid, because I like connecting to my feelings. They are a key ingredient for so many tender and connecting moments in my relationships. And they tell me when I'm enjoying myself, when I want to make a change, and how to care for myself. And yes, they tell me when I'm hurt or disappointed or lonely. I know what I want because I connect with my feelings. I know myself because I can tune in to how I feel. And that helps me make myself happy, even if I start out miserable. It's like Aristotle said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. And connecting to my feelings is how I know myself. So here is how to tune in to your feelings. Number 1 is listening to other women describing their feelings in a similar situation. It took me a long time to figure out why my meetings with my coaches and the other students who study the 6 intimacy skills in our group coaching, or like our symposium, our coaches symposium, where we all get together. Well, it took me a long time to understand why those felt so magical and nourishing and sustaining, refreshing. And now I think it's this very topic that we're talking about. When I get together with those women, I hear how they felt in a certain situation, and then I resonate with that and I connect with it. It's a need. It's a hierarchical need that I have to be able to be around other feely people. Like musicians are around other musicians, and runners like to be around other runners. And I just love being around other women who know how they feel, connect to those feelings, and listening to them helps me know how I'm feeling too in the same situation. It moves me, it brings tears to my eyes, it makes me giggle and feel pleasure and delight, and it somehow fulfills something in me that I need, like air and water and love. The second way to connect with your feelings is to give yourself a little menu of feelings to choose from. So let's say I notice I'm feeling agitated for some reason, like I'm just not feeling calm and relaxed and happy like I feel like I do most of the time now. So I notice something's up, right, with me. So I might just take myself through that menu. Am I feeling mad, bad, sad, glad, or afraid? That is my little mnemonic device for listing all the feelings: mad, sad, bad, glad, and afraid. That really is all of them. You might think, well, no, there's way more than that. And that's true. There are physical feelings like hungry and tired also. So I throw those in there sometimes too. But just in terms of pure emotional feelings, this for me really covers the gamut: mad, sad, bad, glad, and afraid. You could say, well, I'm feeling anxious. Well, I think that's afraid. Or I'm feeling annoyed. Well, I think that's mad. Or I'm feeling depressed. Well, that sounds like sad to me, right? So they can kind of all, they can all be boiled down to these few feelings. So I like just having those like on my fingers and being able to go like this and figure out which one I am. Like, just today I was feeling a little agitated and I'm like, what is that about? And it turns out I am feeling nervous, which is afraid. I'm feeling nervous because I'm getting ready to start a new YouTube channel. And I'm afraid I'm going to be stiff. I'm afraid I'm not going to say the right things. I am nervous about being on camera in general. I think of myself as a writer, not really a video person, even though I'm on video right now. It doesn't seem like it should be that hard, right? And as I'm talking to you about it, I am starting to feel a little better and less nervous about the whole thing. But that's what was going on for me, right? My feelings don't need to always be logical or rational. But I do find that exactly what just happened as I was talking to you about how nervous I am about my new YouTube channel is often what I experience when I express my feelings, give them their day in the sun to exist. And that is they rise and then they kind of naturally subside. And I connect with maybe like, awesome, I'm kind of excited about this new YouTube channel. It feels purposeful. I am pretty passionate about the content that I'm going to be bringing to this channel. And so I feel less agitated and nervous. And I'm now actually getting into excitement, which I've heard is really just when you're nervous and you smile at the same time, right? And that's kind of that's a nice connection to make too, right? I was aware of the nervousness, but now I'm also aware of my excitement for this upcoming YouTube channel. All right, the number 3 way to connect to your feelings is to ask yourself these questions, these powerful questions that are part of the 6 intimacy skills, right? Which is, how do I feel and what do I want? How do I feel and what do I want? And they just kind of go together for me. They just kind of go together because once I know how I feel, oh, I feel nervous about my new YouTube channel, right? It's like, well, what do I want? Well, actually, I kind of want to get it going. I want to start experimenting. I want to start maybe even failing with it so that I can learn and grow, right? That is my desire. It sounds kind of kooky as I'm saying it to you out loud, but that is my desire. So once I know what I feel, that informs my desire as well. And just asking myself, how do I feel? That is a powerful way to connect to my feelings. And then I can't resist saying that once I know how I feel, if it is a negative feeling and I want to transform that, if I decide I'm not wanting to feel what I am feeling right now, And it's not part of the essential pain of life, like last night when we lost the playoff games at volleyball. It was best 2 out of 3, and we won the first game, and then we lost the second game, and then the third game was really close, and we lost. Essential pain of life, right? I have to say it hurt to lose, and that's just the essential pain of life. I don't see how to transform that except to let that feeling have its day in the sun, which I did. My teammates and I talked about that a little bit after the game, like, oh, that was painful to lose. That really hurt. That really felt bad. And it rose and naturally subsided, right? I am in a little pain as I'm telling you guys. As I'm confessing to you, we did lose the playoffs last night. We don't get to play next week because of that. But also, this is just me knowing myself, right? I connected to my feelings. I know how I feel and I know what to do about it. In fact, I have 2 go-tos for when I feel bad and I want to transform that. So I can't resist telling you about those right now. So the first one, of course, is going to be self-care. If you've ever listened to any podcast before, you probably already knew I was going to go there. But I do have in my back pocket a sure thing for making myself feel better, which is if I go for a walk around the block with my headset and listen to music, guaranteed I feel much better by the time I get home, right? I feel happier. I've got some endorphins. I listen to feel good music. I have changed my feelings. I connected with them, didn't like what I was experiencing, and I'm able to get to a better place for myself. So I love that. And the second way there's a surefire thing. If I want to feel better, if I am feeling any disappointment, victimness, if I'm feeling victimy, you guys, all I have to do is make myself, and sometimes I really do have to make myself do this, count my blessings. I have to stop counting my curses and start making a gratitude list. So if I can get to at least 5 things, right, that I am so grateful for, like that I was able to just take a break and walk around the block with my music on, for example, or that it can just be anything, right? That I live where I live, that I'm married to my husband, that I am feeling healthy, that I am getting to do something fun tonight, right? All of these are a surefire way to change my feelings once I connect to them. So, using these 3 ways to connect with your feelings can help you know yourself. And that has helped me become my best self, which has helped me have my best marriage. So now it's your turn. I invite you to consider experimenting with these 3 ways that you can connect to your feelings to become your best self and have your best marriage. I have exciting news for you because right now you can listen to my book, The Empowered Wife, for free with your Audible membership in the United States. So discover the 6 surprising secrets to attract your man's time, his attention, his affection when you listen to the Empowered Wife audiobook on Audible without using credits. You don't need any credits. It's free. The Empowered Wife has over 1,700 5-star reviews, and it also has some 1-star reviews too, because not everybody is ready to hear what they can do to fix their relationship without their man even knowing about it. And I get it. I wasn't ready either until my marriage was completely falling apart and we were on the brink of divorce. And then I learned from women with happy marriages what actually works. And now my marriage is shiny and amazing. And those secrets are in this book. And you can listen to the whole book for free with your Audible membership. The only catch is that this Audible deal is only for a limited time. So to make your marriage last and thrive, go and listen for free with your Audible membership right now. My guest Theresia's marriage felt lonely whenever she got the silent treatment from her husband, which sometimes lasted for 2 weeks. He seemed to be getting angrier and angrier. But then Theresia discovered some new insights on how to talk to her husband. And now the silent treatment rarely happens. And if it does, it's over in just a few hours. She feels close and playful with her husband who doesn't seem so angry anymore. She's going to tell us how she did it so that you can do it too. Theresia, welcome to the Empowered Wife podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you, Laura. I'm excited and grateful for this opportunity to meet you one on one.
Yeah, cool. Me too. Well, Theresia, what was going on in your marriage that was so painful?
Actually, I remember especially the time 10 years ago when we had an empty nest. And one day my husband came home and said, I don't know anymore what to do. And that felt scary. And I had just finished proofreading, a big job for him, because he's a writer and always let me do the proofreading. And I felt disappointed that he didn't appreciate me, but uh, scared that he said he does not know anymore what to do. And then actually my husband became angrier and angrier. Like I would get the silence treatment that lasted several weeks at a time sometimes. And it was very embarrassing when we were together with friends and he does not talk to me. I felt lonely and really embarrassed that our relationship is like this. And I was desperately looking for a solution for that, but nobody really could point me in the right way. And also, actually, my husband is in a leadership position, so I couldn't just talk to anybody for advice. Then we had an opportunity with somebody we knew to have a family retreat. And also, the best thing that came out from that was just that we started to do family Skyping with our children once a month, like as a whole family. Because our children were in America and we were in Asia. Actually, right now I live in the Philippines with my husband. But actually, today is our 42nd marriage anniversary.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
you're kidding. Congratulations. You're here on your
Yeah.
42nd wedding anniversary. What an
Yes.
accomplishment.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Theresia.
Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, so this was already 10 years ago. So I kept on looking and looking and searching and searching. And finally, in 2017, in a friend's house, I saw your book, There's a Rendered Wife. And I just took it from the shelf and read a page. And that really spoke to me. I felt that this woman to woman, I could really relate to it and seemed practical. I could uh, see myself applying that. And so I bought the book. And at that time, we lived in Thailand, and I had a lot of time to read because people cannot understand English. It was
Oh,
kind of a lonely uh, place for me to be. So I had time to really study and get into it and learn to practice the uh, skills of the empowered wife. In the meantime, I've, of course, read The Empowered Wife and also The Empowered Single. And yeah, I started applying it, and right away I noticed a very different response from my husband. Yeah, so I'm really grateful that I've been now for the last 6 years really practicing the skills.
6
And
years. When you first read The Surrendered Wife, what was the first skill that you started experimenting with in your own marriage?
what really struck me is to learn what it means to be respectful. I was interrupting my husband frequently, and he had told me so. Uh, and also I had uh, talked too much, like just things coming to my mind and just talking about this and that, like trying to carry conversation. So after I learned the skills, I became very relaxed and peaceful, not needing, just letting my husband take the lead and in the conversation, no need for me to do that. And also I stopped criticizing him, like uh, and with right now also I'm not together with my husband. He's in Philippines, I'm in America helping our daughter who just had a third child. So does all the household job by himself, like he irons his pants. And the last time when I came back to Philippines, I saw he had made lots of shiny spots on his pants because he puts the iron directly. But anyway, I don't say anything. I will not criticize even if I see he made a mistake. Well, actually, he's now 74 years old. And so sometimes he says a word wrong. He says a word that he meant to say another word, but I will not correct him. I just let him carry on the conversation and take care of himself. I trust him. He is perfectly able to do that. So I learned that, yeah. And also, he had a heart operation. Well, not operation. It's called radio frequency catheter ablation because his heartbeat was too fast. And the doctor told him not to drink coffee, but he loves coffee. And so he did switch to decaffeinated coffee, and I will only serve him decaffeinated coffee at home, but he likes to go to coffee shops, and sometimes he buys the regular coffee, but I will not say anything. I just let him handle his health
That's a
because it's,
scary one, right? Because that could
yeah,
be, it's your heart. That could be life or
yes.
death.
Mhm.
So,
But still, I feel it's much better for the relationship to just trust him that he will take care of his health. And he does actually take care of his
wow.
health. Yes.
So you, I mean, I love how quick you are. Yeah, this is much better. Like, because I can see that one being scary to not say anything. You might say to yourself, well, normally I wouldn't say anything, but this could be life or death. So this time I will say something. You know what I mean? But
Yes, yes. No, I feel it's much better. I don't touch on this subject at all and just let him be. Yeah.
wow. Right. Okay. So but this is a big change, it sounds like, from
Yeah.
first
I,
36 years of
yes. I think without the skills, I would not have been able to do that. And it would have caused a lot of friction, which is much worse for the heart. I think stress.
it's hard on the
So
heart too. It
I think
is.
so.
Yeah,
Yes.
relationship conflict is
Mhm.
hard on your heart.
Yeah. I love apologizing if I slip and make a mistake.
You
Like,
love apologizing?
I
You love
love
it?
apologizing because it makes the relationship it restores the relationship so quickly, I feel, when I apologize. And I recommend it to the wives that I meet all the time. Yeah, to apologize, to be the first one to apologize, not to hesitate.
So, how did your husband, do you remember when you first started apologizing? Like, what the subject was, what you were apologizing for?
No, it's already a long time ago. I don't remember.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just remember that the silence treatment went away. I didn't get long silence treatment anymore, very, very rarely. If there is really something that, uh, yeah, anyway, one of our daughters is not really following the lifestyle that we would like. So that is very upsetting for him. And that has been a very difficult subject in our uh, relationship. But because of the skills, I feel I can keep things still peaceful and yeah. And also, actually, it's my daughter said to me, "Oh, you have changed so much since I learned the skills." So yeah, and also with our daughter, who I'm helping right now, uh, I see her sometimes telling her husband what to do, and then gently I will point out to her that she should trust him. I have to be careful because she also does not want to be told what to do. But, but sometimes just by being an example, like saying to her, "Oh, watch me, if I'm telling her father what to do," and yeah, she's also very happy with our relationship, my husband and my
Oh,
relationship. Yeah, our children
so okay.
appreciate it.
So normally I ask about this at the end, but I'm going to skip ahead and ask you. So, and how old is your daughter? Can I ask?
One is 30 years old and one is 32. I have two
Okay.
daughters. The 32-year-old is married and has children.
Okay. And that's the one you were talking about who's very happy with your relationship, or
Actually, both of them are, I feel,
both
both
of
of them
them?
are grateful that my husband has a good relationship.
Wow. So even though your children are grown, this change in your marriage has impacted them, it sounds like.
Yeah. Uh, Actually, I am a type of person who never fought really verbally with my husband. Uh, I did not, yeah, make any argument. It's just not in my nature. I grew up in a home where there was never a hard word between my father and mother, and I think somehow I inherited uh, this. So I did not feel that uh, they had a bad impression of our relationship, but it became harder after we had an emptiness. I feel, uh, yeah, and yeah. I want to get back to one of the criticizing points. I completely stopped the proofreading for my husband because it's also a way of criticizing him, of telling him, pointing out the mistakes he made. So he found other ways to do that. That is much
Wow.
better.
And you'd been doing that for him for a long time, it sounds like.
Yeah,
So this
uh,
is just part of being a helpful wife.
that's right. Yeah.
And how did he respond when you decided not to offer the proofreading anymore?
He found other ways. Just, yeah, he does it now automatically on the computer and he finds other people who do proofreading and he finds other people to help him. And it works just fine.
And so he wasn't upset with you for not doing that.
And no, he was not upset. Occasionally, if he really asks me for some particular things, I will do it for him. But I don't do anymore. Uh,
Were you afraid to tell him you weren't going to do that anymore? Because like he was depending on you, or you just,
no, it happened kind of gradually. I think so. It was not any big. Uh,
wow. And
so
it sounds like you feel the difference. Like there's less criticism and more intimacy, and proofreading
yes,
is part of that.
mhm. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
What a brilliant insight that was because you that's something else you could have said, well, this is different. This is work. I'm helping him with his work. This is my
Mhm.
job. But you felt that it was too costly to
Yeah.
your marriage.
Mhm.
So wise, Theresia. I love that. So and you apologize for being disrespectful. Do you still do that on
Oh
an
yeah,
ongoing basis?
yes.
Okay.
When there is something I do wrong, yes, I try to be accountable and apologize. Yes.
Wow. Okay. I love that.
Yeah, it's very easy to tell my husband what to do, but uh, it's easy to slip.
Yeah, it is for
Yes.
me too.
Uh,
For me too.
yeah.
And so what else? What other skills did you experiment with in your marriage?
I remember also learning. I feel step by step I'm becoming more sensitive when I'm controlling, and so yeah, I relinquish control. Uh, like when we are planning a trip or when we are already on the trip, it just became so much more easygoing through the skills. And like I said, not to control the conversation. Many times now, when we eat a meal together, we just sit quietly and eat. And if there's something to talk about, we do. But if not, it's okay too. It's just very peaceful. I, yeah, I like it this way. It's relaxed.
So it sounds like, as you mentioned in the beginning, that you were talkative, and I'm talkative too. I have a lot to say. So, but I remember also realizing at first that when I relinquished control, I didn't have as much to say because
Mhm.
a lot of things I had been saying were controlling. So, and so now it sounds like you're less talkative. Is that right?
Yes, I'm less talkative and I think more. If I really want to tell this to my husband or not, if it's really necessary to say. Because, like, one time I had to go to an embassy to get a visa for China. And then it was a situation where I had to leave my passport, but also we had to go on a trip very soon after that. And it was very dicey if we can really get the passports back on time. But I made the decision without involving him, and I left the passports there. And in the end, everything worked out fine. We got our passports back. But this I realized this is one thing, and no need to tell him about it. I can just handle it by myself, and not no need to make him anxious. So such situations like that, I just keep to myself. I handle by myself. Uh,
Wow. And
yeah,
so, and before this might have been something where you'd say, "Oh, I'm so nervous that we won't get these in
yeah.
time.
Mhm.
We
And
won't be
actually,
able
my
to."
husband. is kind of a dramatic person. He's a very good teacher, but need to be some kind of dramatic to do that. So yeah, it could become a big thing. So yeah, I learned to avoid such situations by just really thinking if this is really necessary to tell him or not. Yeah,
So that everything stayed calm at your
yeah.
house.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So this it takes some courage. It sounds like this is courageous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I also learned from you to receive graciously,
Yes, you
to,
did a good job just now. You
to
received.
receive apologies and to receive help and uh, yeah, um, presents. Actually, my husband was always giving me presents, and I received them, I think, graciously. Like even one time, he gave me a blouse that was really too big, but I still wore it for some time. And anyway, yeah, I have always received many presents from
So
my husband.
you had a natural strength of being a good receiver, it
I
sounds like.
think so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. That's yeah, you've always been very feminine, it sounds like.
And also, I completely depended all my life financially on my husband. Uh, from the beginning, we just combined our finances, and he always managed the finances. And yeah, it has really been a blessing for me that I don't need to worry about these things, and he's really taking good care of me.
This has been a beautiful way to navigate finances in your relationship.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Hmm. And what do you say if to especially younger women say, well, that's very old fashioned, that's a little dangerous. What if something happens to him? What would you say then?
Yeah, actually, I have one woman in the group who just recently lost her husband, and she had not. Uh, she actually she accused me of teaching her from your skills to let her husband take care of the finances because she said now she doesn't have the passwords, she cannot get to the finances that she needs, and I should really make the women aware they have to be able to oversee somehow the finances also, not just let everything the husband do everything and then be vulnerable. So that is one important point, I think. But I feel to really have the greatest intimacy, I totally agree with you to trust the husband to handle the finances. And it leads to greater prosperity, I feel. Where we live now in Philippines, actually, it's tradition that the women handle the finances. But I feel this, if they could change this uh, attitude or this tradition, I think Philippines could be more prosperous altogether as a country. Uh, yes. So in my husband gives me all the passwords. I feel secure, and also we share with our children, so that I would not get caught in a situation like this friend of mine who just suddenly lost her husband. Uh, yeah.
Wow. So you have been challenged on this point, and
Mhm.
your conviction remains strong that
Yes. Yes.
this served you well,
Yes.
and there doesn't need to be the risk of I mean you know the passwords. There you can know what's going on at your house
Yes. Mhm.
without steering that part of the relationship.
Yes. And everything is in both of our names, and so
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
And also, I was raised by my parents, where my mother never went to a bank. It's totally my husband, my father's uh, job to be in charge of the finances. And I was raised on a farm. And then also, my daughter is in this kinds of situation. The daughter who has children, it's her husband who manages the finances. So just it's inherited, I feel, in our family.
That's great. So you feel like your parents were good role models for that, and you've
Yes.
been that role model for your daughter. So it doesn't seem strange to her
No.
at all. It seems normal.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I love that actually. And what about gratitude? Did you practice gratitude? Did anything change for you in your marriage with that?
Yes. I took that to heart to give 3 gratitudes a day to my husband. Yes, and I felt it had a very good effect on our relationship. Yes, to just really express gratitude for everything, and not only my husband, also my son-in-law. I thank him for working hard, for being a good father, for taking care of his wife so well, and yeah. So it's in all relationships, being grateful is very good. Also to my parents and uh, also to our children. Yeah, uh, yeah. I think it's also I have a habit of writing down 7 things a day in a journal that I'm grateful for, not only to my husband but just in general. Yeah, and now actually in our daughter's family, they are doing an evening prayer, and before prayer they have a gratitude circle where everybody expresses something they are grateful for. Actually, they are 3 generation family with the husband's parents and 3 children, but one is just a baby. And yeah, they will all share some gratitude, which is very good for the whole family relationship. Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. That is moving. I'm thinking that baby's first words are going to be, I'm grateful.
Yes,
We're getting
they,
exposed to
yeah,
that
they
every
are
single
learning.
night.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is how they're training that child, this skill of gratitude, which is yeah, very powerful. I love that you thank your son-in-law. I bet you have a great relationship with your son-in-law.
Yeah, my husband and I, we are always welcome here, and they are very grateful that I'm helping them. They have now 3 children under 4 years old, which is challenging. So that's why I'm staying for an extended period of time to help.
Wow. I'm amazed that we get this time together in total peace and quiet. So,
Yeah, I arranged it last week already. I asked to have this morning off.
oh,
So
well done. Well done. Well, how
thank you.
cool. And then, what about the skill of vulnerability? Did that come into play for you?
Oh yes, I'm very grateful for that skill to learn to say I miss you, or I miss holding your hand. When I say that to my husband, I miss holding your hand, right away he will hold my hand. Or also, sometimes I get scared about something, and he will right away do to put whatever it needs to be done to protect me. And uh, yeah, uh, I also said ouch only once. I usually don't remember. I could have used it more often, but it doesn't always come to me. But even even thinking about it afterwards, say, oh, this would have been a moment to say ouch, that would have been good. In the beginning, I used to read every day a few pages of your book, especially also before I had a meeting with them. But now I seem to know the book so well that I can just start the meeting and yeah, just
You do. You
yeah,
sound so skilled, Theresia. So, I agree. I think you know the skills very, very well. And I just remember how vital that was for me until I started helping other women with their relationships. It didn't really sink in as I couldn't reach for them as easily as I can now that I'm talking to women all the time
yes,
about the skills, and I've been practicing for a long time. But even in the beginning, it just was tremendous accountability, and yeah, I just felt so responsible to use them because I was encouraging them to use them too. And I hear the same thing has helped you become
yes.
so skilled.
After I go back, when I go back to Philippines, I'm going to stop in Austria in my hometown. And I'm already curious how my brothers and sisters and relatives will respond to me because now that I'm practicing the skills, I think they will also notice the difference. I was thinking about what effect that will have. And I will notice also many things in their relationships. I realize that they could improve. Uh, yeah, so I will reach out to them also more in terms of the skills.
Well, and I hear your excitement and like a healthy sense of pride that this has been an accomplishment that you've transformed how you show up in all your relationships, it sounds like,
Yes.
which is
Mhm.
it's so exciting.
It is. Yeah. I'm so grateful to you that you wrote this book, that you were able to go through this and share it so understand, so easy to understand in a way that is so easy to understand. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Theresia. So, did you, when you first read The Surrendered Wife, which is kind of a hard book to open in general, and you read about these things, did any of them seem strange to you or like, oh, I'm not going to do that? Or that one just seems like too much? Because you sound like it was like a duck to water. Like it just seemed so natural. So, was it
Yeah.
hard for you?
No, I'm a very obedient type of person. And I followed every step. When you said make a list of 20 things that are like self-care for you, I did it. I just followed all the steps. And uh, I was desperate enough to find something that would really work. And it seemed to work. So uh, no, I just step by step, I started to practice everything. And uh, I didn't have any resistance to it. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
noticed resistance from other women. Some women will only come one time to my meeting and then they will not come anymore. So,
Yeah, that's they're not ready yet. Maybe someday, some
yeah,
other day, right? But
mhm,
not, it's not for them. But it was for you, and there was
yeah.
no resistance. So that's very impressive. I mean, I know for me, I like to call it the gift of desperation because
Mm,
I was suffering. Um, because I was resistant too. I was one
mhm,
of those women that would have come and then left. Probably just come one time, maybe if I'd come to
mhm.
your group.
Yeah,
So, um, but I can appreciate that part of your success was just going all in. It was just something
mhm,
you decided right away. You trusted
yes.
the skills
Mhm,
and they were for you. They
yeah.
resonate.
And it was good that I was able to live in Philippines, where actually the women in the Philippines are very receptive to your ideas. I feel,
Really.
yeah. Uh,
Culturally, it's a
Yes.
fit.
Mhm. And some of them, they live in Japan, they have Japanese husbands, and they love it also. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's great to hear. So, tell me about your self-care too.
And I pray every day. I feel that is also part of my self care. And actually, those groups are also part of my self care. I feel that, yeah, what they share is inspiring to me. And actually, it teaches me to appreciate my husband so much more than before. Like, I was able to help one wife who had a problem conceiving, actually because she needed to uh, to dilate her vagina. So uh, and her husband got so desperate, and uh, yeah, it made their relationship very difficult. I could really feel that. And actually, my husband and I, we went through 7 years of infertility. And it was very hard for me. But my husband was so supportive every step of the way and never complaining about any hospital bills and for all the examinations we had and the test and the treatment and whatever we had to do. He always was totally supportive. So when I came in contact with that couple and the attitude of the husband, I really learned to appreciate what my husband had done uh, all those years when we suffered from infertility. Yeah, he's really my hero. He loves to be my hero. And sometimes in public, people come up to me and in front of him ask me what kind of a husband he is. And I would say, oh, he's terrific. He's just the best. So that also is very good for our relationship, that the fact that I can testify like that to him. So, yeah, and yeah, I love to go to the hairdresser for self care, and yeah, have a facial and go swimming. Actually, we have a pool in our apartment building where I can go swimming anytime I want. So yeah, these are some. I love to go for a walk with my husband, even by myself also in the rain. I love walking and keeping fit. I love exercise. I love also meditation. And of course, I travel from Philippines to America and I have jet lag. So then I'm awake in the night sometimes and I love to listen to meditation, especially by James Stevenson. So anyway, like positive reinforcement there and to focus on the positive, on what is positive. Uh, yeah, that is also self-care, I feel. And a very important thing that you emphasize in your skills to what you focus on increases, and so you focus on the positive. That's what will increase. Yes.
And were you doing all this self-care before, or is this a change from how things were?
I pay more attention to self-care, and yeah, I was encouraged by you to buy some new dresses also, go shopping, to be more brave and yeah, more, yeah, pay attention to my appearance and
You
um,
know, that's great. I mean, your husband must. Okay, so how did he respond to all these changes?
yeah, he loves it, and yeah, uh, our our intimacy always has actually been good. Oh, this is one other thing. We are invited to many marriage celebrations, and then they ask my husband to speak and say something, give some advice to the couple, and then my husband always gives me a turn also to say something, and I will just say usually always say yes to your husband. So and yeah, and then now my husband says yeah because he is such a good husband. That's why I was able to always say yes to my husband. He would brag sometimes in his when he teaches that I never refuse him. So uh, yeah, even in the difficult times, sometimes I felt I have a lot of forgiving to do, but still but still I said yes to have a sexual relationship with my husband, and I think that was very good. Uh, yeah, to never say no to my husband. So that's why I
Wow. And this is
recommend
something,
it to others.
that's always for 42 years. It sounds like
Yes.
this is not
Mhm.
just in the last 6 years. This is
That's
something
right.
you always
Yes.
did.
Mm.
And I'm really caught what you just said, even though I have a lot of forgiving to do, which is a very accountable way of saying he's hurt me a lot. He's fallen
Mhm.
short as a husband, and it's hurt. There's pain there. And you didn't
Yes.
let that stop you
That's
from
right. Yeah.
receiving him
Mm.
physically.
Yeah.
Wow. That's very generous. And yeah, it just really sounds like unconditional love for your husband. That's very
Thank
inspiring.
you.
Yeah. You sound like a saint, Theresia. I don't, yeah, I'm like, well, how does she do all
Oh.
these things? Because it's quite impressive to me. You already had some very good habits, and then you were so open to the skills. I think is so extraordinary. Um, it was much more of a struggle for me. I feel like I guess I didn't really ask you. I mean, well, you said you were very open, you committed, you went all in right away. And some things you already had as a strength, like receiving and always being a yes to your husband and letting him handle the finances was already in place. So these were it feels like minor tweaks in a way to
Mhm.
implement the rest of the skills.
Yes.
But I also hear you saying, I can't wait for my family to see what I'm like now because I'm so different.
Mhm.
So tell me about that. Like how is Theresia different than you used to be?
Uh, yeah, I appreciate the skill of to just say yes, I hear you, just listening to others without giving advice or sharing my own experience. Many times now, I will just be quiet and no need to share what I experienced. Just let them share uh, what they experience. But of course, if somebody asks me for advice, I will give some advice. And yeah, And yeah, some of my brothers-in-law even were always, how to say, thinking my lifestyle is not ideal, not right. So uh, anyway, if they want to believe that is okay, I I can deal with that. Uh, I can still be gracious to them, I feel, and relate to them, and yeah, uh,
No need to defend yourself
that's
or to
right.
explain to them
No,
that your lifestyle
mhm, yeah,
is actually better.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah,
Huh. So there's a like a gentleness that just sort of emanates from you. I'm aware of it now. They must feel this also when they speak with you.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Oh,
And yeah, I feel also it's very important to keep in touch with everybody. So I reach out because I'm not in Austria, so I reach out to them, wish them happy birthdays, and so keep in touch. So it will be nice when we meet. It is not just not just strangers. We can uh, carry on a relationship. Yeah.
wow. So you dedicate yourself to just loving everyone, it sounds like. Remembering them, thanking
Thank you.
them.
Yeah, and this is something my husband really appreciates also, because I feel he feels it's not his strength to do. So yeah, he appreciates me for
Mm. And you sound very happy and you've been just beaming
that.
as
Thank
we're
you.
speaking today. So, do I have that right? Are you ridiculously
Yes,
happy?
I am. I am. Yes, I feel cherished and protected and uh, really full of joy and playful. Sometimes my husband and we play board games together. I love it. Yes, and yeah, we love to do it with our children also, but having little children, it's not always possible.
No.
But anyway, there are other things to play. Playing is very important. Yes.
So after
So
42 years, you still play together.
yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Awesome. So that's what that's the ideal is to have playfulness, it sounds like.
yeah. I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Theresia. Yeah, so yeah, just tell me a little bit about what your marriage is like day to day, like how often you talk or
And yeah, so right now my husband is in the Philippines, but he calls every day, at least once, and we have a nice talk. And he likes to see also the grandchildren and children, and yeah,
wait, this is the guy that used to give you the silent treatment for 2 weeks. He
yes,
calls
that's
every day
right,
now.
every day. And yeah, I don't need to call him. He may be doing something. I'm always thinking he may be interrupting him. So he's the one always who calls me. So I feel I'm receiving his call. It's like a gift he's giving me every day. Yeah.
Every day he pursues you. He
Yes.
pursues your conversation, your company.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
And shares everything with me, and yeah, and tells me about his day.
And you've even had acknowledgement from your daughters that they see Theresia has transformed.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
do you just want to do a cartwheel or something to celebrate? It's just incredible, right? Did you ever think you would
Thank you.
change so much? Did you think this was
No,
possible the way you're living now?
no, I had no idea this is possible. I only learned it from your skills. Uh, Before, I feel so many things I did not see, I did not know, I didn't understand. But now I'm becoming more and more sensitive to how to live together in a harmonious way, and how to make peace in the family, which spreads out. Yeah.
Yeah, you're healing all your family members, it sounds like, with your beautiful listening and loving, remembering
Thank you.
them. Yeah. Yeah, it certainly sounds like it's impacting your your son-in-law and your brothers-in-law too, the way you are showing up with so much grace and
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. It's very impressive.
I,
So go ahead.
I, sorry, I want to share one example. like we would walk in the mall, and all of a sudden my husband sees a shop where they sell German bread. He said, "Oh, let's go check because you love this bread, the sourdough bread. Let's see if we can buy some bread there." So any opportunity he can find to please me, to make me happy, he will always take it.
He wants to be your hero.
He is, yes,
And he is. He is your
yeah,
hero.
he is,
And I love that that's what you say about him when people ask uh,
yes,
what he's like as a husband. You're like, oh, he's my hero.
yeah. He's really wonderful. Yeah.
Wow. And and you might not have said that before, it sounds like. Would you have said that before?
No, I was not able to say that. I just it wouldn't have come to me. Uh, yeah,
You had so much to forgive at that time.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
mhm.
Huh. But same
Yeah,
man, same guy.
same man, yes. Mhm.
And
And yeah, even at that time, he always was already a very good husband, but I just did not see it and appreciate it like I can now.
wow. So
Like other people
has
really like him.
you really like him? You really, really like
Other,
him?
yeah, I really like him, and other people also really like him. Yeah,
Oh,
he's a tremendous man, and yeah, very talented and very loving. Like when he came to our daughters, when before he came before our daughter gave birth, and so he got lots of little house improvement projects done for her while he was here, which is expressing his love uh, to our
wanting to be
daughter.
her hero too. Right?
Yes,
Yeah. He's just a hero kind of guy, it sounds
yes,
like. So you married very well and then didn't have the right glasses on maybe for a while. And now you do
mm,
have the right
yes,
perspective. So
yes. So yeah, we feel
Theresia,
very happy.
that's so good. Congratulations. It's an incredible accomplishment. But what do you think you would say to yourself if you could go back in time and tell yourself what you know now?
Yeah, I always be respectful, but I I only learned it from you. Yeah, but also I would recommend to any woman who learns your skills to pass it on to others, and because that's the best way to cement it. I have to be a model. I cannot just let go. Uh, yeah, and I feel it's really my self-care time of the day. Like I'm very busy right now, helping our daughter washing the diapers and the clothes. She does clothes diapers uh, and helping with the household. But when I have a call with one of my groups, that is my time. Uh, uh, yeah, and I enjoy that. So yeah, sharing it with others is the best thing I did.
I love that. And I relate to you so much. It's so nourishing and nurturing and fills me up to talk to women about these very important topics that we're talking about
Yes,
today.
it's
I
right.
need it. I need it.
Yes, and it's very intimate. It's very
Very intimate.
really, yeah, uh, very bonding. I feel to
It's
uh,
very,
speak about these
yeah.
kids.
That's very beautiful. I love that. That's a great answer. And what is your, yeah, so that's what you would say to yourself. Well, that's like your best tip, it sounds like, is to share it with other women. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you would have said to yourself in the past to be respectful. I heard you say.
yes.
Yeah. And you wouldn't have known what it meant, it sounds like.
No, at the time I didn't know. Like I remember very well one time with my husband, we were at a conference and it was the end of it. And I said to my husband, let us go to the room. I wanted to go. But he still wanted to talk with the people. So I learned to say, no, I want to go to the room. I can go. No need to say to him, let us go to the room. So yeah, I became very careful not to use the phrase, let us. Uh, but just to say what I want. I learned to say what I want. And that behind every complaint, there's a hidden desire that I need to find and express. Yeah, I have the list of what I want also, and many, many things have happened already, have come to pass.
Really?
Yes, oh yeah. Uh,
I'd love to hear about that. Tell me about that. You wrote something on your desires list and it happened?
yeah. Um, okay, I'm gonna get my list. Look it up. What I make a big tick on it when it gets fulfilled. Yeah. Uh, oh yeah, yeah. Actually, it took me a while to get a facial. I got facial. I want to be a successful matching supporter. uh, I want to, yeah, I want to praise our daughter in front of others, uh, uh,
Oh, to
and
lift her up.
to lift her up. Yes.
Mostly what I hear is your incredible passion and commitment for ending world divorce by making sure every woman gets her hands on these skills, which have benefited so many women once they learn them. We just use
Yeah.
the information, but also the support of other women to make them a part of us. And I admire your passion, and I'm grateful for it. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for that, Theresia.
Thank you, Laura. You're really an inspiration to me and to many others.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I also want to give you my award for being the best wife.
Oh, thank
Congratulations.
you so much.
You win. You are incredible role model for what is possible to be almost like a saint, Theresia, who has just the most wonderful marriage because you have been so humble and courageous and accountable and the way you show up in your relationship with your husband and all your relationships. So, congratulations on creating a beautiful marriage. That's an inspiration to all of us.
Thank you, Laura. It's
You're
really
welcome.
so precious to me.
I'm glad. I'm glad because it's an incredible accomplishment. Uh, Not everyone is open to making these changes,
Yeah.
especially after 36 years of marriage. You might just say, ah, but this is how it is. Yeah, I'm very inspired to get to hear your story. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you so much for interviewing me. I appreciate it.
According to a study at Harvard, and this was horrifying to hear, if you know a couple who's getting divorced, you are 75% more likely to get divorced too. Woo! It matters who you listen to, which is why over 7,000 women like you who think that having a great marriage is important have joined our free Adored Wife group. The Adored Wife group is a launch pad where you can meet our certified coaches and discover the best next steps for making your marriage last and thrive. It's 100% free to join. Just go to lauradoyle.org/group right now. This is a private group and it's not for everybody, but if you are a wife or girlfriend who thinks that having a great marriage is important too, we'd all really like to meet you. So go to lauradoyle.org/group right now to join us free. That's lauradoyle.org/group. Listen and subscribe to the Empowered Wife podcast. On next week's podcast, we're going to discuss 3 questions to ask before you separate. And in the meantime, I hope you are having lots of fun. Today's fun fact is that I have all these things that I want to do to end world divorce. The problem is they really cut into staring at my phone time.